I'm going to start a new file, new blank file, and it's going to be called test game. And it's going to save it in my documents folder, which is fine. I'll hit let's go. And for this, I'm just practicing using my own handmade sprites. So with my asset window open, I'm going to right click and I'm going to create a new sprite. Today what I thought I'd do is I'd show you how Gamemakers work, and then I'll show you a real example applying what I have to some real graphics. So this first sprite is, I'm going to edit it, and I just want it to be a green bar. Cool. I'm going to give it a better name, and I'm going to call it lowercase s for sprite grass. Cool. All right. Back to workspace 1. I would like to change the size of this. Okay, I think I only want the height to be, let's make this 200 pixels wide and 50 pixels high. It doesn't totally matter how big this is. Great, then stop messing with it. Okay, fine, great, awesome. I'm gonna make another sprite, and this sprite is going to be called, I'm just gonna draw, and it's going to be this little face, and okay, great, that's my second sprite. I'm going to name this sprite S for sprite and then character. Cool. So I got my character sprite and my grass sprite, and here they are in my workspace. I've made sprites, but I need to convert these to objects so that I can put code on them. And so I'm going to do create object, and in this object is going to be O grass, meaning it's the object, and it's going to have the grass sprite in it. And then I'll create another object, and it's going to be called O character, and it's going to have the character sprite in it. Great. Okay, I already have a room in Gamemaker, and in this room I'm going to make sure I'm on the instances layer, and I'm going to pull my grass particle out. I am going to make it big, and I'm going to give myself a couple of them. Cool. Cool. I'm also going to pull out my character. I think I need to make this grass a little bit bigger for my purposes. And that's too big. This is too big. Let's see why in a moment. Okay, great. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run it and see what happens. Nothing. Great. What I'd like to do is I'd like to have 2 mice. Don't go anywhere. I need to check my other files. All right, I'm going to double click on my little character, and it's my object, and having an object allows me to add events. In the past, we added a directional tool so we could just get this little character to move around. And for some people, that's totally fine. But what I want is I want the character to be controlled with my arrow keys and be able to jump from the one green platform to the next. So what I need to do is I need to create an event called create. I am using the visual language. And what I'd like is I would like to set gravity for the object. And I'm going to give it a force of 0.7. And I'm also going to set friction for the object. Oops. And that friction is going to be 0.4. Great. Okay. So nothing's going to happen yet because I haven't added any movement. But let's go ahead and add some movement. I'm going to add an event, key down right, and all I need to do is set the speed for this character. So the speed for this will be 3. Great. Now I'm going to go key down left, and I'll set the speed. Here's the thing. Oops, I forgot one thing on my right. Let me jump back to my right thing. I need to say set speed, direction, horizontal. So horizontally, I'm moving along the x-axis. We know from Pythagorean theorem that the x-axis has a positive and a negative association. So here I can set my speed of -3. And that's great. Okay, so left is -3, right is +3. Let's see what happens. But I'm going to give you a heads up, it's not going to work, but it will be funny. The issue is my little character has gravity on it, but there's nothing blocking him from falling. So what I need to do is on my grass, so on this object grass, on my character, I need to add another event called collision. And that collision needs to be my character. Whenever my character encounters the grass, something's going to happen. What's going to happen when, okay, collision, object, grass. This thing. Great. Now when I double click on grass, I need to set my vertical speed to 0, or actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my vertical speed to -1. One of the things that was, when I was preparing for this lecture, one of the things that I spent the most hours is when I added gravity to my character and it collided with the grass, the gravity was so strong it wouldn't let my character move back and forth. So I need to set my vertical speed greater than the force of gravity. Let's see if this works. Okay, good. Uh-oh. No. All right, left and right are working. But it is slowly sinking. Let me go test this. I'm going to make sure that I have key left, key right, key press up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this should be right. We'll see. One super convenient thing is that Gamemaker's a little squirrely. We'll come back to that. In the meantime, let's see if we can get this character to jump. I'm going to do a key press for jump, and I'm going to do key press up. And when you hit key press up, I would like to set the vertical speed to -13. Let's see what that looks like. Pew, 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 pew. All right. What happens if I fall off the edge? Ay! Let me see if I can refresh that and get my little character to jump over to the next. It does have this, if I hit up multiple times, it increases. I can set that so that doesn't happen, but I don't know if that's exactly what we want. Okay, great. We got some jumping happening, and there is a little problem with my character. The gravity on my character is greater than the collision gravity. So maybe I'll go mess with that. Let's see, let's make gravity 0.5. It's actually 0.5. Let's run it again. There we go. The gravity was too strong for my little character, and it was sinking through its collision thing. Great. Okay, cool. Okay, great. Now, I'd like to do one more thing. Many of you are collecting assets. And in this circumstance, we'll do the inventory on Thursday, but I do want to show you how you can collect an asset. I don't know what I was going to say. Okay, I'm going to go back to Window Asset Browser. I'm going to make a new sprite, create sprite, and the sprite is going to be called S, lowercase s star, and I'm going to edit the image, and I'm going to pick a star. Woo. Cool. And now I need to make an object called star. And that object is going to use the star sprite. And I'm going to go to my room, and I'm going to add some of the star objects for my little character to collect. So one of the things, oopsie, just kidding. One of the things about Gamemaker is it's great because it has this visual language, but it also, you can do more sophisticated things with code with it, which is fine, but we're not necessarily using code at this moment. Which is all to say, when we go to the inventory, setting up the inventory, we'll probably have to use a little bit of code. Okay, great. So right now, if I hit run, it does, nothing happens when I pass by these stars, but I'd like to make it so that when my little character collides with the star disappears and a sound plays. Let's try with our star disappearing first. In this case, I'm going to put a collider on the star because I want stuff to happen to the star when my character hits it. So in this case, I'm going to put a collision on the character. So when my star collides with the character, stuff will happen. And the first thing I want is I would like to destroy the instance of the star, so it disappears. And let's try that. So I'm going to try and hit this. Hey. 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 Great. Two things that we noticed. One is that, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. One thing is like when the, I'm going to stop recording for a moment. All right. So I'm going to open up these files. It's our background. And I'm going to extract them into my folder on my desktop. Gamemaker. Great. Go. And then I'm going to see if I also need to pull any of these. Okay, run test. Just bring these over. And bring these over. And then this. Cool. I think that's everything. I'm going to do small icons, medium icons, details. Okay. And I'm just going to open up. Actually, I'm going to start organizing. New folder that's going to be sounds. And that's my sound file here. And then a new folder that has backgrounds. Backgrounds. And then a folder, character sprites. Great. Okay. Oops, get out of there. Great. Okay, let's take a peek at our backgrounds. We have a fully fleshed out background, but we actually need the backgrounds kind of divided up, which we also have. So, great, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new game. And I'll call it with actual scenery. Let's go. And in my main room, room 1, what I'd like to do is click on my background layer, and then I want to click on this little doohickey to import my main background, which is room 2 or room tests? Room 2.
Neither of those.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's the last time.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I didn't.
It should just be a PDF. That was the only one that was a PDF.
Okay, let me make sure I've got this. PDF, swing background layers with color, test. Remember the test was the bad one. That's right, I remember.
Yeah,
there it is. Layers with color of winter. Layers with color of winter. I think this is the right one. Import. Where'd that thing? Oh, it's a PDF, that's why. Sorry. I have to go to Photoshop. And convert a couple of the files. It's okay because I wanted to get it on this tutorial that I'm making, which I'll have to edit because I have a lot of downtime. Sorry. Sorry, kids. So I'll open in my Gamemaker all of the PDFs. And I'll save them, save a copy as a JPEG. I want high resolution. Do we need this one test? I don't think so.
No,
That's it was we were messing around, yeah.
Just that blue one.
We just need the blue one. Okay, great. So now I'm going to go import backgrounds and put that in there. And that's the background for our room. So when I double click on the room, that's our background. I am going to add some other sprites. I'm going to create a sprite, and I better look at my files to see. I need the clouds. So this is going to be a sprite, S, clouds. And I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to hit import, and I'm going to go winter layer for clouds. Cool. We're animating these eventually.
Yeah, I just wanted to remove.
Yeah. Okay, great. So at the moment, I am going to create an object with the clouds sprite, and I'll call it O clouds because we will want to do something with it eventually. But now I'm going to go into my room, and I'm going to get my clouds object and pull it. Oops, it got mad at me because I was on my background layer and I need to be in my instances layer. Okay, clouds are big, which is fine. Let me make sure that my room is the proper size. Actually, my room needs to be 1920 by 1080. I know that my image is, the blue background is, so I just need to make sure that that's the same size. And I'm going to zoom out. I still think my clouds are big, which is totally fine. I'm going to resize them, holding down my shift key so that they resize proportionally. Okay. Then I have some other sprites I need to make. I'm going to import, I think, the black bar. Oh, you have it in order. Great. This back platforms. Great.
Or actually, these are the trees that have to go in first.
Okay. I'll wait. Okay, great. And then I'll add a sprite. And I'll import the trees. Great. And these are all big, but that's totally fine. We'll resize them when we place them in our room. And then we're going to go sprite. Am I naming these? Sorry. I need to name them correctly. Sorry. Back column. Oops. Trees. And what am I putting in sprite 5? Front platforms. Put that in there. And then character is the black bar that goes at the bottom.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's also ghosts that are animated across that black bar.
Oh
That
yeah.
black bar is just solid.
Okay. Black bar. Now, one thing is these images are really big. They only need to be 1920 wide. I think it's going to be okay, but there is some risk that it's going to slow down my computer processing power to have these giant files in there. We'll see. Okay, great. Now I'll go to my room and I'll pull in the trees is number 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay, pull in the trees. Oops. Yeah, actually. Oh, I'm sorry. So here's the thing. I can put these on as sprites, and I think you're not going to do anything with your trees, right? They're just going to go in there. So I can pull the trees in, and it's going to create an assets layer, and that's what the trees definitely belongs on. But anything where I need to have like a collision or anything like that needs to be an object. And I can mess with these later to see where they should go. Cool. Now these back columns, will the character is jumping on the front columns or on the back columns too, or the back columns are just there? Okay. Okay. So you do need the back columns to be interactable, correct? So I need to make them into an object, and I'm going to call it O back call, and I'm going to put the back columns in there, and then I'm going to go to my room, and I'm going to pull this object out. Because it's an object, it has to go on the instances layer. Okay. You would know where they go exactly, but and are the trees on the back columns sitting on the third?
I can get up in front.
Okay. Oh, it's on the assets layer. That's oh yeah, that's good. Okay, great. Thank you. Cool. And then I'll make another object. Front columns. And that gets the front column spike. And I'll go back to my room. And on the instances layer, I'll pull front columns. Ooh. Do you have, you don't have to have this, but do you have a walk cycle and a resting cycle?
In my GIF I did, but the one I just sent you over email, I just have the PDF just so you can put it in there.
Okay, good. The PDF has both? Is that what you?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I think so.
Yeah, great. Okay.
My walk cycle is only 2 minutes a as long as it is.
That's fine. I just wanted to show people how to swap sprites. Okay, I'm gonna lock this and get my trees and my trees. Stop. Just one view. And then for the moment, we're just gonna do this black bar. Stop. On the assets layer. Oh, I see. Again, kind of small. Here's the black bar. I brought too many over and I couldn't see it. Okay. And that's on the assets layer, as is the ghosts. I don't want this. Let me zoom in here. And here's my black bar going to the bottom. And then where's my ghosts? Oops. Great. Okay, so we've got all the objects here. We'll see how this goes. Let's get your character, and the character is in this, and we're going to go ahead and open it up with Photoshop. If nope, that would be too easy. Okay, so the character's walking here, right? What we want to do is make this character walk in a line. Maybe it doesn't have to be in a line, but we do have to make sure the file is exactly the right size. So I'm going to make sure that it's lined up properly. Is it raining?
Pretty stormy there.
Is it? Good. Right. Bless you. And so I want a couple of things to happen. I want to have a transparent background, so I'm going to do this. Oops. And then here. So it needs to have a transparent background, and I would like for them to be equally distant apart, which would be easier to do in Illustrator. We'll just go for it. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So I need to make sure that my document is divisible by 6. So let's see what my image size is. Maybe I'll make it 600 pixels wide. Great. And then it's 100 pixels wide for each movement. So I'll save as a ping file, so it'll keep the background, or a GIF is fine, but I have to save it as character underscore strip 6, because there's 6 of those characters in there. Okay, now I'll go to Gamemaker and I'll add another sprite, and this one is going to be this character strip. And because I named it strip, it's too many frames. It doesn't need to be frames 30 frames per second. It's just 12. And I would want to spend time making sure that I place the characters. I think I messed up the order of the characters, but as long as you can see that this animation is happening. Okay, great. And then I'm going to add one more sprite that I'm going to make, and you'll see why. And that is S bad character, and sprite 8 is S good character. Okay. All right, great. Back to my room. And I need to make an object for my character. Oh, good character. This is all time consuming, but it is what it is. Okay, and then another object. Okay. Okay, great. So now I will take my good character and I'm going to put it on the stage. Oops, I didn't have the right thing. I need instances selected, and I bring the good character over. Oh, it's not, it's locked. One last time. Okay. My assets are sitting on top of my instance, and that's not what I want. This back column. We'll have to figure out your order afterwards. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay. We may have to make some arrangements, later arrangements with these columns and jumping back and forth on the column. And it looks like I might have to make some other layers because the layering is important. I just need more layers in here. Like this black bar should be in the front. I need to spend time rearranging that, but let's just get to the good stuff for the moment. Okay, so I am on the instances layer. Here's my little character. And what I'd like to do is I would like to make this character be able to walk. So to do so, I'm going to double click on good character, and I'm going to add an event, key down right, and I can use the visual language. Key down right is just speed, and we'll go 3. Then we'll go key down left, and the speed will be -3. And let's see if that works. So I'm going to save everything and then run it. Oh, sorry. It's mad at me. It gave me 2 bugs because it doesn't know which direction I want the speed to be. So I need to change those. And I have a not minus, but an equal sign. So I had a lot of problems. I play that. A couple things. One is the right and the left key are working, but it's not stopping when we let go. So let's look at a couple things. We could say key up any, and whenever you lift the key up, the character will stop. Let's try that. Speed 0. We'll do horizontal 0. Let's see what happens when we run this. Sure enough, when I let go. Now it's not responding to the platforms that it's walking on, but I haven't told it to. One thing I don't like is it would be better if when the character were walking, if it were standing, it weren't walking in place. So I think what I might do is I'm going to take one of these little shapes and I'm going to copy it into a new file. And I'm going to take that background out so it can be a GIF, and I'll do File, Save As, and I'm going to call it idle. And I'm going to save it on my computer. And in Gamemaker in the characters, I'm just going to save a copy and make it a GIF, and it's just going to be my idle. So when I go to Gamemaker, what I'd like actually is instead of the good character being this walking thing, I think what I want is the good character. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me create sprite, and I'm going to call it S idle, and then I'm going to import a single static GIF, so it's not doing anything. And then in my good character, I would like to change the sprite to be the idle sprite. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, he's not moving at all. Well, that's not what I want either. I want it to be idle when I'm not pushing the button and walking when I do. Hi. And walking when I want it to be idle when I'm not pressing any buttons, and I want it to walk when I do press a button. I don't know what I'm saying. So let me do key down right. What I can do is I can set a different instance of a sprite. So right now it's idle when I'm not moving, but I'm about to do key down right, and then I'm going to make it walk. Let's save that. And see if that works. So what's happening? Nothing? Oh.